Space was quiet. Stars shined like cold diamonds in the dark sky. Everything seemed normal near the border of the Zealer Empire, a powerful alien empire feared across the galaxy. The Zealers had strong war fleets, dangerous weapons, and a long history of winning every war. No one dared to challenge them. But tonight, something strange entered their space, something that did not match any known record. Inside the Zealer border station Zar 7, alarms suddenly began to ring. Red lights flashed. Officers looked at their screens with shock and confusion. A giant unknown ship had appeared from the darkness of space. It was moving slowly, silently, without any sound or energy signal. The ship did not send a single message. It did not show any ID code. It did not even use normal lights. It was completely silent, but somehow felt powerful. Lieutenant Rava, a young officer, stared at her screen with wide eyes. "Commander, a large object is entering our space. Size, approximately 12 times bigger than our battleships." Commander Velrak, a tall, strict Zealer with dark blue skin and sharp silver eyes, turned quickly. "Show it on the main screen," he ordered. The screen on the wall lit up and everyone in the control room froze. A massive ship moved slowly toward them. It was dark gray, almost black, with strange smooth edges. No engines glowed at the back. No thrusters burned. There was no heat or energy coming from it. It was like a ghost ship drifting through space. "What kind of ship moves without engine heat?" one officer whispered. "It looks human," Rava said in a shaking voice. The room went silent. Everyone stared at her. Humans? The Zealers believed humans were weak. Humans were considered a small, primitive, unimportant race living far away. The Zealers had met humans once, nearly 200 years ago. At that time, humans had basic spaceships and old weapons. They were no threat. Many Zealers thought humans would never grow strong. Commander Velrak narrowed his eyes. "Humans do not have ships like this. They cannot build something of this size." "Commander, the design is similar to old human ships," Rava replied. "But this one is larger and more advanced. Something is different." Velrak did not like the feeling growing in his chest, a feeling he had not felt in years: fear. "Scan the ship," he ordered. The officers began scanning. Blue waves of scanning energy reached toward the silent giant ship. But something unexpected happened. "Our scanners are not reading anything," an officer said. "It's like the ship is blocking all scans." Velrak frowned. "Try stronger scans. Use deep analysis mode." They tried again. This time the scanners overloaded and shut down. "Commander, the ship is resisting our scans. We cannot see inside. We cannot detect life, tech, or power." The room filled with tension. For the first time in many years, the Zealer border team felt unsure, helpless. The silent ship continued moving toward their station, slow and smooth like a shadow. "Is it attacking?" an officer asked nervously. "No," Velrak answered. "There are no weapons activated. No shields. No movement of any kind." "But no communication, no signals. It feels like a trap," Rava whispered. Outside, space was calm, but inside the station, panic began to grow. The ship stopped just a short distance from the station. It did not shoot. It did not move. It just stayed there, cold, dark, watching. Hours passed. The ship did nothing. The silence became uncomfortable. Officers could hear their own breathing. Sweat formed on their skin. Aliens across the station began whispering in fear. "Why is it here? Humans cannot build this, right? What if it is a weapon?" Some believed the ship was abandoned. Some feared it carried a deadly disease. Others thought it was a human trap or a war machine. Velrak stood near the window, staring at the ship through the glass. "If this is a human ship," he thought, "then humans have changed in a way we never expected." He turned to his team. "No one fires without my order. We do not provoke a ship we do not understand." Minutes felt like hours. The silence felt heavier than any weapon. Suddenly, something happened. A small light, tiny and faint, blinked near the front of the ship. It glowed once, then again, slowly growing brighter. "Commander, the ship is waking up," Rava said with fear in her voice. All eyes locked on the screen. The tiny light turned into a clear pattern, 3 short blinks, 3 long, 3 short. Rava gasped. "That is a human distress code. Old Earth Morse code." The Zealers felt cold shock. Why would a giant silent ship send an old human distress signal? Was it asking for help? Or was it a warning? The blinking continued, slow, cold, and strange. One thing became clear to everyone watching. This was not a normal ship. This was not a weak human craft. Something unexpected was coming. Something that could change everything. Commander Velrak felt a chill. "This is no accident," he whispered. And in that moment, one thought spread through the Zealer station. If this silent ship truly belonged to humans, then a war they were not ready for might be about to begin. The light from the silent human ship continued to blink. Slow, calm, almost like a heartbeat in the dark. 3 short flashes. 3 long flashes. 3 short again. Every officer on the Zealer station Zar 7 watched in silence. The only sound in the control room was the quiet beeping of dying scanners and the nervous breathing of the crew. Lieutenant Rava spoke in a trembling voice. "Commander, that is human Morse code." "Means?" "It means, we need help." Commander Velrak's sharp silver eyes stayed fixed on the black screen. "Help?" he said slowly. "Or maybe it's a trick." No one replied. The Zealers were a proud and powerful race. They never feared smaller civilizations. Yet something about this silent ship felt wrong in a way that made even the strongest soldier nervous. "Open a communication channel," Velrak ordered. "Let's see if anyone answers." Rava nodded and pressed the control keys. The radio buzzed with static. No sound came back. Just silence. "Try again," Velrak said. She did. Again no reply. The giant human ship floated quietly, motionless, as if it were listening, or waiting. Hours passed. The crew grew restless. Some left their posts to look at the ship through observation windows. From a distance it looked lifeless. No movement, no lights, no heat. Yet every few minutes the tiny light blinked again in the same pattern. The ship was not dead. It was doing something the Zealers couldn't understand. Fear reaches the capital. By the next morning the news had spread far beyond the border. Every channel in the Zealer Empire broadcasted the same breaking report. A giant unidentified human ship has appeared in Zealer territory. All scanners fail to read it. The ship does not respond to communication attempts. Across the Empire, fear began to grow. On city streets, people whispered about the mysterious humans. Some said it was a ghost ship filled with the dead. Others believed humans had built a secret weapon that could hide from sensors. At the Imperial Council, the mood was dark. Leaders gathered in a massive golden chamber above the clouds of their capital world, Zealer Prime. The Emperor himself, Kareth Vorn, listened to the reports in silence. His cold face showed no emotion, but inside he was uneasy. "The humans," said one of the council members, "were primitive the last time we met them. This cannot be their doing." Another counselor replied, "But the design is human. The symbols, the structure, everything points to Earth origin." Emperor Kareth leaned forward. "And yet, our weapons, our scanners, and our science cannot even read it. If this ship truly belongs to humans, then we have made a terrible mistake underestimating them." He looked at Commander Velrak's transmission on the central screen. "Commander, has there been any movement?" Velrak saluted. "None, my Emperor." The ship remained silent, only sending the same old code. "Can we destroy it?" a general asked sharply. Velrak hesitated. "We could try, but our weapons might not work. It blocks scans. It could block attacks too." The Emperor stood up. "Then we will test it." He turned to his generals. "Send a drone fleet. Approach with caution. Fire minimal energy rounds first." The generals bowed and obeyed. The drone attacked. A few hours later, a fleet of small attack drones moved quietly toward the human ship. From the control room of Zar 7, Velrak and his crew watched the live feed on their screens. The drones approached within 5,000 kilometers. Still, no reaction from the human ship. "Fire the first pulse," Velrak ordered. The nearest drone shot a small blue energy blast toward the silent giant. The blast hit the ship, but nothing happened. No shield appeared. No explosion. No damage. The ship simply absorbed the energy, like a sponge drinking water. What just happened?" Rava asked, confused. Velrak frowned. "Increase power. Fire again." The drones fired stronger rounds. This time the human ship glowed faintly for a second, and then went completely dark again. Even darker than before. A quiet voice came from one of the officers. "Commander, our sensors just died. All of them. The ship is releasing a wave." Velrak's eyes widened. "Shut down all systems. Now." But it was too late. A soft, invisible pulse moved through space. It was gentle, barely felt, but every drone instantly powered down. Their lights went out. One by one they floated dead in space. All across Zar 7 lights flickered, then returned weakly. "Report." Velrak shouted. Rava's voice shook. We lost contact with all drones. They are offline. The pulse disabled their cores. Velrak clenched his fists. That ship just turned off our technology, without firing a single shot. Everyone stared at the screen in silent horror. The message. Then without warning the black ship came to life. Lines of faint blue light moved along its surface. Not bright but enough to make its shape visible. Slowly the lights formed a pattern and then, a message appeared on the Zealer screens. It was written in clear galactic standard text. This is Captain Aaron Vale of the human exploration vessel Solace. We come with a warning. Do not attack. Do not approach. Our silence is protection, for both you and us. The message repeated once. Then the lights faded again. Rava looked at Velrak, her voice soft. Commander, he said. Protection. Protection from what? Velrak stared at the dark ship, trying to understand. Protection from what indeed? Empire in chaos. Back on Zealer Prime, panic spread even faster. The Emperor's council was in chaos. Humans send us warnings now, one shouted. They think they can order us? Another yelled. But a few were silent. The ones who remembered the old human wars. The stories of how humans fought with emotion, with fire, with something deeper than logic. The Emperor raised his hand for silence. Enough. We will not be threatened. Send a fleet. If this human captain will not speak peacefully, we will make him. But sire, said a cautious advisor, if their technology is beyond ours. The Emperor cut him off. Then we will learn how far it goes before it breaks. Meanwhile on Zar 7. Velrak watched as the stars outside dimmed slightly. He didn't know if it was his imagination or something else, but space seemed darker now. Rava approached him quietly. Sir, I analyzed the message code. It's human. Real human. From Earth origin. Velrak sighed. Then it's true. The humans have returned, and they are not the same. Before Rava could reply, a new alert flashed on the screen. Commander. Multiple warp signatures detected. Empire fleet arriving from the capital. Velrak's blood ran cold. The Emperor is sending warships. Outside the window, the black ship remained still and silent, as if it already knew what was coming. Cliffhanger ending for Part 2. As the first wave of Zealer warships arrived and surrounded the mysterious human vessel, a soft signal echoed across every communication channel, not from the Zealers but from the human ship itself. It was the same voice as before. Come, Colt. You should not have come closer. Before anyone could react, all power in the nearby space zone went dark. Every ship, every weapon, every light. Only the silent human ship remained visible, glowing faintly in the void. And somewhere deep inside the Empire's network, a single message spread like fire. The humans are back, and they are not alone. Darkness covered the space around the Zealer border. Moments ago, powerful warships had arrived with shining armor, strong energy shields, and heavy weapons. Now all of them were frozen in the dark, powerless and silent. Only one ship had light. The strange human vessel. A soft blue glow outlined its massive structure, calm, quiet, almost peaceful. But there was something frightening in that calmness. Inside the Zealer warship Varkos, 1, Admiral Torvak Drain slammed his fist on his control table. What happened to our power? He growled. Restart systems immediately. Engineers rushed around the control room, pressing buttons, shouting updates. It's not working, Admiral, one officer cried. Every system shut down at the same time. It's like the power was taken from us. Taken? By who? Torvak snapped. The officer swallowed. By the human ship, sir. Torvak's eyes burned with anger. Impossible. Humans cannot do this. But deep inside even he didn't believe his own words. The human appears. On the border station Zar 7, Commander Velrak and Lieutenant Rava stared at the giant screen that showed the frozen Zealer fleet around the silent ship. Rava whispered, Sir. The fleet cannot move. Their engines are dead. Velrak nodded slowly. The human ship disabled them, with a single pulse. If they wanted war they could destroy us all. Before they could speak further, something unexpected happened. The dark space between the Zealer fleet and the human ship began to shimmer, like air bending in heat waves. A hologram formed in the center of the Zealer communication network. Screens across every ship and station flickered, then showed the same image. A human. He looked calm, serious, and strangely tired. His uniform was dark with silver lines and a small symbol of a blue circle with 3 stars. His hair was short. His eyes were sharp but not angry. He spoke in clear galactic standard. I am Captain Aaron Vale of the human vessel Solace. The room on every Zealer ship went silent. Everyone who saw him felt an uneasy chill. His voice was not loud, but it carried authority. We did not come for war, Captain Vale said. We came with a message, a warning. Admiral Torvak stood tall and stepped forward. You trespassed into our space. Torvak shouted. You shut down our fleets. You dare to threaten the Zealer Empire? Captain Vale didn't react with fear. His expression didn't change. We did not attack, he said calmly. No one was harmed. We only disabled your weapons, to avoid a mistake that would kill millions. Avoid a mistake. The words hit harder than any weapon. The first warning. Torvak demanded, explain yourself, human. What is the meaning of this so-called warning? Captain Vale's hologram raised a hand, and space behind him changed into a projection, showing a star map of distant galaxies. But many of the stars were crossed with red marks or burned symbols. These were once living star systems, the captain said. Worlds full of life just like yours. Civilizations older than the Zealer Empire. The stars on the map began to disappear one by one, like candles being blown out. They are gone now. Rava felt a shiver run through her body. Sir, is that real? She whispered to Velrak. Velrak didn't answer. His eyes were locked on the map. The captain continued, we tried to stop the threat. We failed. Now the enemy travels across galaxies, destroying everything without reason, without mercy. Torvak narrowed his eyes. Who is this enemy? For the first time, Captain Vale's calm face changed. His voice lowered, becoming cold. We call them the Voidborn. Everyone felt the name like a shadow falling across their minds. They do not speak. They do not negotiate. They do not want land, resources, or power. They only erase life. The map zoomed into a region far from Zealer territory. A black shape spread like a disease swallowing stars. They destroyed the Hellion Accord in 23 minutes. A union of 14 advanced species. Their fleets were stronger than yours. The silence on every Zealer ship grew heavier. They destroyed the KRL Dominion, ships made of living metal, advanced by 60,000 years. Captain Vale looked directly into the eyes of the Zealer commanders. If you attack us again, if you force us to defend ourselves, you will weaken the only chance you have to survive what is coming. Arrogance versus reality. Admiral Torvak slammed his table again. Humans are cowards hiding behind stories. You run from the enemy, and now you bring your problems to us. We are the Zealer Empire. We do not fear your myths. Captain Vale stared at him for a long moment, then spoke quietly. And that is how many great civilizations died. They did not believe the warning. They were confident, proud, and blind. His eyes sharpened. Do not repeat their mistake. Torvak's anger grew. You are in our territory. You will surrender this ship to the Zealer Empire for investigation. Humans obey us now. Rava gasped. Admiral, no. But Torvak had already made the order. Activate magnetic boarding hooks. Prepare soldiers to enter the human ship. Engineers tried to activate systems, but nothing worked. Sir, we told you, the ship disabled everything. We can't even move our doors. Torvak growled in frustration, embarrassed in front of everyone. Then Captain Vale spoke again, his voice neither angry nor mocking, simply, sad. You still do not understand your situation. He raised his hand slightly. The Solace glowed softly. A second human ship appeared behind the first one. Silent. Black. Invisible until this moment. Every Zealer heart stopped. Velrak whispered, there are two. Rava shook her head. Sir, what if there are more we cannot see? Even Torvak stepped back. Captain Vale said, we mastered silence, because sound attracts the Voidborn. We learned to hide. To erase our signal. Our voice. Our presence. His voice became hollow, like someone who had seen too much death. We did not come to show power. We came because we knew you would attack us out of fear. And we needed to stop you before you called attention to this region. Torvak's anger turned into confusion. Attention? Attention from who? Captain Vale answered with words that froze every Zealer heart. From them. They follow sound, movement, war. If you open fire again, you will call them here. A hard truth. Velrak finally stepped forward, breaking his silence. What do you want from us? The human captain looked at him, not as an enemy, but as someone who still had hope. We want a chance to speak, to warn your leaders, to share what we learned before it's too late. Rava spoke softly, And if our empire refuses? Captain Vale's eyes darkened. Then your empire will suffer the same fate as the others. We will leave, and the Voidborn will come. They always do. The hologram began to fade, but Captain Vale added one last message. You have 7 days. Choose wisely. The image disappeared. Aftermath of the contact. For several seconds no one spoke. The silence felt heavier than space itself. Finally Velrak said quietly, Rava, send this recording to the Imperial Council. They must see everything. Rava nodded, her hands shaking. Commander, do you believe him? Velrak let out a slow breath. I believe he has no reason to lie. And I felt no pride in his voice, only warning. Cliffhanger end of part 3. But before the crew could react further, a strange signal appeared on the scanners, so faint it was almost invisible. Rava checked the readings and her face turned pale. Commander, something is coming from deep space. A movement, not a ship, not normal energy. I don't know W. A silent tension hung across Zealer space. 2 human ships, dark, massive, and calm, floated at the border like guardians of a secret no one understood. Inside the Zealer border station Zar 7, Commander Velrak stood with his crew, staring at the strange faint signal on their scanners. What do you mean not a ship? Velrak asked, his voice low. Lieutenant Rava swallowed. Sir, this energy reading does not match any known technology. It's not warp, not plasma, not dark matter engines. It's something else. Could it be natural? Velrak asked. She shook her head. Space storms don't move with purpose. This is coming straight toward our region. Like it knows we are here. The crew exchanged fearful looks. No one dared say the word out loud, but one thought filled their minds. Voidborn. The Empire responds. On Zealer Prime, the Imperial Council watched the recording of Captain Aaron Vale's warning. The room was silent when the video ended. Then the shouting began. He lies. He wants us afraid. Humans cannot be trusted. But a few council members sat frozen, pale, staring at the star map showing destroyed civilizations. Emperor Kareth Vorn raised his hand. The room went quiet immediately. What happens if the humans are telling the truth? He asked calmly. The councilors looked at each other, nervous, unsure, uncomfortable. General Zavrin, one of the most experienced military minds, stepped forward. My Emperor, fear or not, we must prepare. If an enemy like the Voidborn exists, we cannot face it alone. Another councilor protested. You suggest we cooperate with humans? Impossible. General Zavrin replied. If humans survived while stronger civilizations fell, then they know something we don't. We must at least listen. The Emperor nodded slowly. Send an ambassador, he said. One who can speak calmly and listen wisely. He turned to the room. And send a stealth vanguard fleet to observe from a distance. If the humans lie, we will strike. A message from the humans. Back at Zar 7, a soft chime echoed in the station. A message appeared on every screen. Prepare for communication. We will answer your questions. No one touched any controls, yet the screens responded on their own. A moment later, Captain Aaron Vale's image appeared again. Velrak stepped forward. Captain Vale, our Empire wants answers before deciding what to do. I understand, Vale replied. Ask. Velrak exhaled. Why are you here? Why warn us specifically? Captain Vale nodded as if expecting the question. Because the Voidborn are moving toward this galaxy. The Zealer Empire lies directly in their path. Rava felt her heart drop. So, they are coming here first? No, Vale said. They do not care which world is first or last. They destroy everything they find. Velrak frowned. If that is true, why are you not running? Why not stay silent and hide your people? Vale's face darkened. Because hiding only slows them. It never stops them. Then he said something unexpected. Humans once tried to hide too. The dark history of humanity. The screen changed again, showing ancient human ships, damaged, burning, fleeing across space. Captain Vale spoke softly, almost like he was remembering a painful memory. When the Voidborn first appeared, we did not understand them. We thought we could fight them like any other enemy. The screen showed a huge battlefield, hundreds of ships destroyed, planets burning, space torn apart. They erased Earth's first colonies in hours. Our strongest fleets failed. People we loved vanished without a trace. Rava whispered, how did humans survive? The next image was of a giant station, dark, silent, hidden in a shadowed nebula. We learned. We changed. We adapted. We erased our signals, our presence, our voice. Velrak's eyes widened. You removed yourselves from the galaxy. Vale nodded. Humanity disappeared not because we were weak, but because silence was our only defense. The crew felt the weight of those words. Then Vale looked directly through the screen as if into their souls. We stayed silent for centuries. But silence will not save the galaxy. Not this time. A human request. Velrak asked, "What do you want the Zealer Empire to do?" Captain Vale responded clearly. "We want a meeting with your Emperor. Humans will share our knowledge, everything we know about the Voidborn, their weakness, their behavior, and how to fight them." Rava's eyes widened. "You said they cannot be fought." Vale replied, "Not with normal weapons. But there are ways to slow them, blind them, confuse them. We learned by surviving." Velrak asked cautiously, "What do you want in return?" Vale's answer was simple. Time. The crew exchanged confused glances. Time for what? Velrak asked. Time to prepare, Vale said. We are building something. Something that could change the fate of the galaxy. Velrak hesitated. A weapon. Captain Vale did not deny it. Not a weapon of destruction, he said slowly. A weapon of silence. A way to cut the Voidborn senses. We call it the Veil. The Veil. The star map changed again, showing a massive structure hidden inside a moving nebula, like a machine built across stars. It will not kill the Voidborn, Vale explained, but it will hide entire civilizations from their senses. A defense shield for galaxies. Rava's eyes lit with hope. So we can be safe? Safe. Vale repeated softly. No. Only hidden. Protected for a time. How long? Velrak asked. Vale looked tired again. Long enough to build something greater. Velrak felt a chill. Humanity is planning something bigger than the Veil. Yes, Vale said quietly. We are preparing a final answer to the Voidborn. But that future requires allies, not enemies. A disturbing discovery. Before Velrak could reply, Rava gasped at the scanning screen. Commander, the faint energy reading has changed. It multiplied. Velrak rushed to the scanner. How many? Her voice shook. From one signal to a 6. No, 8. They're spreading. Approaching from deep space. Captain Vale heard her. His face hardened. They are scouting the borders. Testing for sound. Searching for life. Velrak turned to him urgently. Can we stop them? No, Vale said. Not yet. Not here. The moment a weapon is fired, the Voidborn will focus on this region. Rava swallowed. What do we do? Vale looked at them, firm, serious, determined. You listen. Fear moved through the Zealer Empire like a cold wind. The silent human ships had already broken their pride, and now a new fear stood in front of them, an unknown enemy that even humans were running from. Inside the main war room of the Empire's capital, leaders gathered around a giant holomap. Red alarms flashed. A strange energy signal was approaching their space, moving fast through the deep void. No one had ever seen such energy before. Commander Velrak stood with his hands behind his back, trying to look strong, but his voice shook slightly. We are the most powerful empire in this galaxy, he said. We have defeated countless enemies. We will face this one too. But his words did not comfort anyone. Across the table, Captain Aaron Vale, the human leader, stood calm and quiet. His eyes were serious, his face tired, as if he had seen this horror before. He spoke softly, You still do not understand. Power will not save you. Weapons will not stop it. The Zealer generals stared at him with confusion and anger. General Sira snapped, If humans failed, why should we believe you can stop it now? Aaron looked at her, expression unchanged. We did not fail. We survived. There is a difference. Those words shook the room. A strange darkness enters the border. At the far edge of the Zealer Empire, near the border where the silent ship first appeared, something dark moved through space. It was not a ship made of metal. It did not have engines or lights. It looked like a moving shadow, spreading like smoke, but holding shape like a creature. Zealer border ships scanned it. The officers stared at their screens in shock. Sir, the scanners can't identify it, the technician whispered. It is not giving any energy reading. It is like scanning, nothing. The dark object continued moving forward, slow but unstoppable. A captain of the border fleet gave the order. Fire warning shots. Do not let it enter our territory. The ships fired powerful plasma beams. The beams went through the dark shape, like hitting empty space. No damage. No reaction. No sound. It was as if the creature was not even there. The commander felt his heart freeze. What is this thing? Humans prepare for impact. Back on the human silent ship, the crew moved quickly but quietly. Their ship remained dark, lights off as if it was hiding. Aaron walked through the control room. His crew worked with focus and fear in their eyes. They had seen this enemy before. They knew what was coming. A young human officer, Mira, spoke softly, "Sir, will the silent protocol be enough this time?" Aaron paused before answering. "We survived last time with it. We must trust it again." She swallowed hard. "And if it fails?" Aaron looked at the dark void outside the window. "Then the galaxy will fall." The Zealer Empire does not listen. Despite human warnings, the Zealer Empire prepared to fight. Ships gathered. Fleets formed a large defensive wall. Thousands of soldiers prepared themselves for war. Commander Velrak stood on the command bridge of his flagship. "Begin full power shield activation," he ordered. "We will show the humans what a real empire can do." Aaron's hologram appeared one last time. "Velrak, listen to me. Do not attack it. Do not make sound. Do not show energy. If it senses life, it will consume you first." Velrak clenched his jaw. "You ask us to hide? To stay silent like cowards?" Aaron answered gently, "Not cowards. Survivors." But Velrak ended the transmission. "We do not run. We fight." The dark enemy arrives. The shadow-like enemy crossed into Zealer space. It moved slowly, almost calmly, as if it did not care about the fleets around it. Zealer ships targeted it with everything they had. Missiles, laser cannons, energy torpedoes. The space lit up with explosions. But when the smoke cleared, the creature remained untouched. Instead, it changed shape. It began to grow, as if it fed on the energy they used against it. The Zealer commanders stared with horror. "What have we done?" The dark enemy suddenly turned, not toward the Zealer fleet, but toward the humans. It moved as if it had detected their presence. Aaron received the alert. "It found us," Mira whispered. Aaron closed his eyes. "It always goes for us first. Prepare the silent protocol now." Cliffhanger ending. From the Zealer command ship, Velrak watched the dark enemy pass by their fleet, ignoring them like insects. He whispered in fear, "It is not here for us, it is hunting the humans." In the dark vacuum of space, the shadow creature rushed toward the silent human ship, fast, unstoppable. The human crew held their breath. Aaron gave the order. "All systems, go silent." Lights shut off. Engines died. Ship turned into a lifeless ghost. The shadow closed in, just a few kilometers away. Then, everything went black. Silence filled the void, complete and deep. The human ship floated like a dead rock in space. No lights. No heat. No sound. It looked lifeless, as if no one was inside. The shadow creature slowed as it reached the silent ship. It circled around it, confused. It searched for movement, for heartbeat, for even a small trace of energy, but found nothing. Inside, the human crew sat still like statues. No one moved. No one spoke. Even breathing was slow and quiet. Myra's hands shook as she watched the creature outside through a small dark screen. She whispered in the softest breath, "Is it gone?" Aaron raised one finger. "Wait." The shadow stayed close, trying to smell life. It hovered, twisting into different shapes, long, thin, wide, sharp, as if testing the space around it. Minutes felt like hours. The entire galaxy seemed to hold its breath. Finally, the creature stopped moving. Then, slowly, it drifted away, leaving the silent ship behind. Aaron waited 30 more seconds. Then he nodded. A soft whisper passed through the ship. "Silent Protocol, Phase 2. Zealer Empire watches in shock." From the Zealer command ship, Commander Velrak and his officers watched the strange scene from a distance. Their ships had stayed active, glowing with energy, but the creature ignored them now. It moved far ahead, searching for sound, searching for life. General Sira stared with wide eyes. It did not attack them. It avoided them. How? Velrak finally understood the truth. The humans have learned something we never did. They learned how to hide from death itself. The humans strike back. When the shadow creature was far enough, Aaron stood up. "Begin silent weapon prep. Target the core." A secret part of the ship came to life, but without sound or heat. It used no visible power. It was a weapon built for only one purpose: to kill what should not exist. Across the ship, hidden panels opened, revealing crystal black emitters. They glowed faintly with dull light, the only light allowed. Mira looked at the readings and gasped. Sir. This will use almost all our power. Aaron nodded. His voice was calm but heavy. If we don't end it here, more worlds will fall. The galaxy will burn. The silent weapon charged. Outside, the shadow creature suddenly stopped, as if it sensed something. Aaron spoke softly. Fire. A thin, invisible wave left the human ship. No sound. No flash. No explosion. It was pure silence, a silence that cut through space like a blade. The wave passed through the shadow creature. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the creature froze. Its body trembled. It lost shape. It tried to hold itself together, but its darkness began to tear apart, like smoke in wind. For the first time since it entered their world, the galaxy heard something. A faint, distant scream without sound. The shadow turned to dust. Then dust faded into nothing. The threat was gone. The galaxy reacts. Messages spread across the galaxy like fire. Humans destroyed the unstoppable enemy. Humans saved the Zealer Empire. Humans survived the silent horror. Leaders of powerful worlds sent urgent requests. Humans, teach us your silent technology. We want peace with Earth. We will never attack humans again. For centuries, humans were seen as weak. Now the galaxy saw the truth. Humans were not weak. Humans were not behind. Humans were simply quiet, because they were fighting a battle no one else understood. A private moment. After the battle, Aaron stood alone in a small room with a window looking out into space. Mira entered quietly. We did it, she said softly. Aaron shook his head slightly. No. We survived again. That is all. This was only one of many. She looked worried. Will it return? Aaron looked at the stars. It always does. And when it comes back, we will be ready. The Zealer commander speaks. Commander Velrak asked for a private meeting with Aaron. When he appeared on screen, his posture was no longer proud or arrogant. It was respectful. For generations, our empire believed humans were small and unimportant, Velrak said. Today you saved us. We owe you a debt we can never repay. Aaron replied kindly, your people are safe. That is enough. Velrak asked quietly, how did your species survive this alone? Aaron gave a sad smile. We learned to fight in silence because noise only made the darkness come faster. Velrak lowered his head. It was the first time in history a Zealer leader bowed to a human. Legend of the Silent Ships. The human silent ships returned to deep space, unseen and unheard. They did not stay to celebrate. They did not ask for reward. They disappeared quietly, just as they had arrived. In the years that followed, alien children would hear a story. If you ever see a silent human ship, do not fear. It means danger is coming. And humans are already fighting it in the dark. The galaxy never mocked humans again. Because now they understood. Sometimes the most terrifying power is the one that moves without a sound. Final line. From that day, silence became the strongest weapon, and the galaxy prayed humans never needed to use it again.